Hello and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So today I decided to try something new. I went and leveled up just any old character. Well, we chose a ranger. We're then going to fill the role as a DPS. And I've decided I'm going to level it up to level 5 and see what the random queues are like at this level. This random dungeon queue, it has a whole variety of different dungeons within it, from the caverns of Carundax all the way to Lair of Lostmouth. Are these dungeons actually feasible to run at level 5 with an estimated time play of about 30 minutes? But firstly, I'd like to give a special thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going. So these random queues, we have this random dungeon queue, and yeah, well, my experience was I jumped in with a friend and we were both just hit level 5. We were both DPS and we went and queued up, and it took nearly 20 minutes for the bloody thing to pop. We queued and we got the Malabog Castle. Now you'd think Malabog Castle attached to Old Charandar and thrown into a random dungeon queue now with level 5 players would be relatively easy, and you'd think it'd be the same for all of these other dungeons. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. We were with 3 other level 20 characters, and level 20 being the new max. And with the harsh scaling that there is, all of their base damage is reduced down to pretty much our level as well. I was even scaled. So the experience that I had was it would take forever to kill enemies. You can see myself, I'm kind of going out there a bit bold and going ahead of the tank and getting wrecked. Yes, I did not expect them to deal so much damage, and I didn't expect them to have so many hit points. I'm a level 5 character, and you're expecting me to be able to complete this thing. Am I wrong to think that we should be able to complete this with 5 level 5 characters fairly confidently? This is supposed to be an experience for those newer players. You finally hit level 5, you can finally queue up to random queues and start earning that daily bonus of rough astral diamonds. This is the grind train that you want to hop on from the very beginning. And they've given us the opportunity to do so, but apparently that's nowhere near what you can do, even with level 20 characters, with this scaling. If you don't have all of your companions upgraded to give you these percentages, you can see this character doesn't even have a companion. Without these percentage bonuses to your stats from companions, you're just going to deal mediocre damage, and scaling really is going to be pretty harsh on you. Because the one thing scaling doesn't impact is these total percentages on your stats. All it does is reduce your overall damage by reducing this total item level, which impacts hit points and damage. So if you have your companions nicely upgraded and you also have gear that would give you more of these stats, then you're looking in a much better place to complete these random dungeon queues, or just these dungeons. See, I have access to all of these except for Fanbreaker and Spell Plague. God, I don't want to be doing Fanbreaker on a level 5 character. Anyway, I just find it's ridiculous and it's a mess. We attempted Malabog's Castle, we were there for nearly an hour, and we only just got past the first boss. We were in that area when we entered the castle after that first boss, and we just kept dying over and over and over. Initially the tank wanted to run off ahead, so me and my friend decided we'd follow the tank. We rushed past the enemies, got to the end, managed to open the portal, but alas, everybody else was dying, so we had to just die and respawn back and go through the whole process again. Killing each group of mobs is the best way to go. You take it slow, you kill each group and move on. But at that rate, we're going to be in this dungeon for over more than 2 hours, as each group of mobs takes like 3 minutes to 5 minutes to kill, because all of our damage sucks. The tank can barely take too much damage or he's just going to get wrecked. And the same with the healer, can barely keep up because our item level is just scaled down way too low. So from my experience, this random dungeon queue is a mess right now. If you don't have a character with a decent companion setup giving you additional percentages with the 100% bolster, then there's no way you're going to confidently complete these within a reasonable amount of time without getting severely carried from, let's say, a top end player, albeit their damage will still be scaled down. So right now, what I suggest you guys do is avoid these random queues until you're at least level 20. Then you will have a little bit more of a chance because you should have picked up some companions and some mounts that'll buff up these combat power and also buff up those statistics. It is unfortunate the way it is, since it is very appealing to be able to jump in and grind this rough astral diamonds early. That would of course be the ideal thing to do. You would go grind your daily rough astral diamonds, you'd get that 100,000 every day, since that's the maximum you can refine, meaning after 10 days you have 1,000,000, and you can go and spend these then on getting more companions and mounts and things to upgrade, like your insignias, enchantments. There's so many things in this game to get upgraded. So if you can start grinding rough astral diamonds early, that's definitely the way to go. However, as I've mentioned in my previous video, you ideally want to unlock your descent into Avernus and be grinding out those Juma bags. You can see you're going to have to be max level 20 to be able to access viewing these campaigns. So you get to that 26,000 item level, and then you go to Valenhas, and from there you can just farm Juma bags. It can be a bit tedious, but Juma bags will also give you rough astral diamonds, meaning you can kind of avoid this whole random queues. Also, the random trial queue is definitely going to be the best one to jump in, as it's much easier to get carried in there. You're going to have 10 other players which will help you out. Well, 9 if you exclude yourself. Right now, the scaling on these dungeons is just busted. Of course, there are a few easier ones which you will have much higher chance of completing, since the HP and the damage of enemies is greatly lessened. Many of these dungeons, in my opinion, just shouldn't be within these normal dungeon queue. They should either be in their own category or just thrown in with the advanced dungeons, because right now the advanced dungeons are stuck with a mess of Castle Ravenloft, Infernal Citadel, and your Lair of the Mad Mage, and people just end up quitting out of them rather than having to haul through an entire dungeon, which is going to take an hour plus to complete with your subpar players. You can't expect to always get an elite player who knows exactly what they're doing and who's able to crush the enemies. You can't expect to get those in random queues, because most of them just can't be bothered doing them because they don't really need the astral diamonds anymore. So with that said, hopefully this was at least somewhat enjoyable to watch the gameplay, us struggling through a bit of Malabog's castle. Eventually, sadly, we just got frustrated and just had to quit out. We were going to be here for over 2 hours if we wanted to complete this. It was just taking forever to kill those enemies. Hopefully Cryptic Studios can perhaps watch this, perhaps change a few things, as it's sorely needed. This is not the new player experience I expected to see from your random dungeon queue, which you can access when you're level 5. So if it presented as well, consider leaving the video a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. And we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.